Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. My first guest, one of my comedic heroes. It's safe to say that, absolutely.
Oh.
And a good man, legend, Jackie, the joke man Martling. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
I'm fine. I got a joke for you.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
So a girl goes to the gynecologist. She says, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. I keep finding postage stamps from Costa Rica in my vagina. She has a look and says, lady, those aren't postage stamps. Those are stickers from bananas. I had to do that.
Oh, wow.
How are you, man?
It was
Thanks for having
good.
me
And
back.
you got that in like an off-color joke, but within the parameters of...
Just on the line.
Yeah, it's great. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. So you say you're busy. You're doing, you got some voiceover work you told me about. I can't believe you don't get a ton of voiceover.
You know, people, I'm in line at the bank, and people, hey, Jackie the Joke Man, I know that voice anywhere. You know, why aren't you a cartoon? Why aren't you an animated figure? I'm like, well, tell somebody. You know, I've been breaking my chops for years to get that kind of work, and I don't get it. And we went next door to a barbecue, and my neighbor's daughter says, oh, this is my boyfriend, Matt. I said, hi, what do you do? She says, I'm a producer. I said, oh, get me a gig, ha, ha, ha. He calls me up, and now I'm the voice of Strokey Zooms, who's an animated...
So it's like a steady thing or like a one-time thing?
It's an animated video camera. Well, it's a six episode thing that's on Yahoo Screen. It's called The Fuzz. They chopped it up into 6 episodes, but I didn't get killed. It's funny. Cool. It's humans. It's humans and puppets.
Right.
But it's a mob movie. And the puppets are dealing drugs, but the drugs are jelly beans. It's so ridiculous, but it's so cool. But the people are getting killed, and there's sex, and it's violent.
So it's like it's not a video game. It's something you watch.
No, it's something you watch on Yahoo Screen. You just go to The Fuzz, and I'm Strokey Zooms, and hey, how you doing? You know.
So you do like a character voice.
Yo, please, Artie. There's no beginning to my talent. And I did a movie with Sean Young.
Okay, wait, did you have scenes with Sean Young?
I had a couple scenes with Sean Young.
Is she nutty?
She couldn't be nicer. She's a hippie.
Yeah.
You know, she dances to a different drummer. You know, she's not wacky. Anybody can be wacky.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't tell you that she doesn't, you know, step out and walk into traffic, but she couldn't have been nicer, and she was sweet to everybody, and there was no reports of her being, you know, weird or anything.
Did you have scenes with her?
Yeah, you know, I'm sitting at, you know, she's the Tony Soprano. You know, her father dies, so she's taking over the mob, but she's a woman.
Oh, okay.
So they try and bowl her over, but you know, but Tony LoBianco was her father, and he got killed just like Jackie Aprile got killed in The Sopranos. But she stepped in, so she's Tony. And, you know, people get killed, and it's fun, and it's a good movie, you know.
So you're saying that, like, a lot of those
I got killed? No, I didn't get killed. I got beat up.
Death scene?
No, but I got beat up, and I'm in the trailer. So those are 2 firsts for me, John, so you should be a little impressed.
I am. You two have something in common, though. You're both Michigan guys.
I'm not a Michigan guy. I was there for 7 years, but I won't tell anybody about that.
You went to the University of Michigan.
No, I went to Michigan. You know what?
Michigan State.
Every time people say, hey, you went to U of M, I'm like, I used to say, no, Michigan State, because it's like 500 points SAT difference. You know? Finally, I learned, you know, a million years ago, they took my video, Hoof-Hearted Ice Melted, and they put it on the Playboy channel when it first came out. They chopped it into 2 one-hour things, and guys would be pissed off at me. They'd come up, Jesus, I was in a hotel room, and I signed up for the Playboy channel. I'm away from my wife, and I got to watch you tell dick jokes. You know, they'd be so mad at me. And people would come up to me and say, hey, I saw you on HBO. And I'd say, no, you saw me on the Playboy channel.
Right.
Hey, I saw you on HBO. And all of a sudden one day I said, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Jerk.
Just go with
it. HBO. Thanks, dude.
Just go with it.
You know. Yeah.
So
hey, you went to University of Michigan? Yeah.
So you went to Michigan State.
Michigan State. Cal College.
But that's still an amazing sports school, legendary school.
It was
Magic Johnson. So a lot of scholars went there. Magic.
I was there when Bubba Smith was there, and Bubba Smith could have probably parked on top of the dean's wife. I mean, you know, he had a big white car. You know, I mean, the football players ruled the roost.
I bet he did. Well, and hoops, they got huge with it too after a while.
They were great at everything.
They're great now.
And I was on the Michigan State gymnastic team for one day.
Get out of here.
One day.
What'd you do?
I was in floor exercise.
Uneven bars?
No, I was in floor exercise. You know what? I should email you. I actually have an 8mm film of my floor exercise routine in 1965. Because a good friend of mine's father was one of those guys that always had the camera going.
Yeah.
So Walter Capagna's father is shooting him. So I was a local guy from East Norwich. He shot a whole minute. You know, the whole thing's only about 70 seconds. He shot a minute of me doing flips, and here's me and, you know.
Right.
But I was real good for my little tiny school. So here I'm at Michigan State, and I'm so intimidated. I'm standing there, and this guy comes, I swear to you, John, this guy comes out of the locker room and goes, "Oh, man, I haven't done anything all summer." And boom, he does a double backflip. I'm like, "Well, I'll see you guys later." I'm going home to the Stroh's beer. You know?
Well, that's like the first time I thought I could play baseball until the first time I saw a guy who had a slider, and I was like, "Bye."
Right.
I'm gonna practice telling jokes.
Different league.
Well, could you imagine the stuff you would have on tape or on film if the technology existed of an iPhone when you were in college? Like it was rare that anything.
I don't let myself even think. Do you know I had a band
the
throughout
partying and the band, the backstage? Could you imagine what would be on tape?
We had a band throughout the entire 70s, and we told jokes, played original songs, had the crowd on their ear, and they were berserk. Right. And we broke up in 78, and there was no such thing as a video camera. And by 1980, everybody had a VHS
just a few
player.
Years later,
Boom.
Yeah.
I have like 30 seconds of my college band because the same thing. The Polish organ player from Hamtramck, his father came up and shot a few minutes of 8mm videotape, and we were so horrible. We're playing for an all African-American party, and here's these white guys who had no idea what they were doing. It's just hysterical. Just hysterical.
Well,
do you think it would have altered how we acted?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. You're right. Maybe it would have. So maybe all the nutty things you think of.
I thought you brought the camera.
No, exactly. But if you get drunk, like I know I used to, and stories about you, enjoying yourself, smoking weed, maybe stuff that when you're in just crazy drunk that would be on tape. You know?
I literally almost got thrown out of Michigan State for mooning the president.
When mooning came about, you were right on top of
that. Oh, man, I was in my element. There was a panty raid, and we went all over the place, and we actually, we all ran up to the fence at the intramural building, and maybe 30 out of the 400 people went over the fence, and 1 out of the 30 went in the water. Yeah. Right? And then we went to Cal's house, which is where the president lived, and he wasn't there, but me and a couple other guys got up, and it's so funny. Do you remember Silence of the Lambs? I think was it Buffalo Bill? Was that the guy's name?
Yeah.
And at the end, either just after or just before he kills the girl, he tucks himself in and does that dance. We used to do that dance in college. We called it
You
the
came
review.
up with that.
Well, we didn't come up with it, but 3 of us, we'd pull down our pants and tuck ourselves in and do a little can, and then turn around and bend over and show everybody the one-eyed squirrel, And somebody said, "Where's those guys from Snyder Hall? Tell them to do that dance." So we got up and did the dance. And, of course, they reported one person. So I had to go. Artie, I swear to you, and I can't find the letter, they CC'd my dorm advisor, my RA, my parents, the head of my department. There was like 12 people that got CC'd in this letter, and they reported me. And it had the word mooning in quotations in the letter. And then John Martling did jump up on the steps of Cal's house and had his fun mooning. And how could you
make you laugh even more?
And I had to stand in front of the board. There was like 12 people, and I had to keep a straight face. And there was one Southern guy. I remember I saw a smirk on his face, and I played to him. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
I took my pants down. I'm not gay. I would go to the bathroom. I'm just having fun here.
One of my favorite moments in the history of the Stern Show, some guy calls up and he thinks he's going to get Jackie. He's going to embarrass him, So he goes, "Hey, Howard, I heard a guy at a party told me he knew Jackie in college, and he was in a van with him, and Jackie mooned out the window of the van, and while he was mooning, he took a dump out the window." And Howard goes, "Is that true, Jackie?" And instead of being embarrassed, I was kind of proud, he went, "Yeah, it's a harvest moon." Yeah, it's a harvest moon. No one ever hears it, did a harvest moon?
Listen,
we got to take a break. Just hold that thought. Harvest moon. We'll be back right after this with Jackie.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.